you the smiling friend?
Yes, they are. And you know what? I know what you're thinking. Wait a second. They didn't have a chess episode. No. But I did play it. If you look at Season 2, Episode 2, Mr. President, here in the opening scene, you see a chessboard. Now, you might notice something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Chessboard is 6 by 9. Oh no. And this video was suggested by one of you, so thank you for the nice suggestion. If we want to recreate this chess scene, we can't do this on a normal 8 by 8 board. Meaning that we've got to come up with something a little bit more clever. So I've grabbed some paper and I've lined it up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab my scissors and I'm gonna cut it along the lines. And then I'll have 2 color squares. So while I do that, how about I give you guys a recap of what the episode in the Smiling Friends was about.
First up, an election update. Squiggly Miggly narrowly clinched the nomination today, making him the main rival to the highly unpopular President Jimble.
So there's a presidential debate going on, and what the Smiley Friends do is they make people smile. And then we see the chessboard that has given me countless sleepless nights.
President Jimble has no chance. You never know, Alan. After all, President Ross Perot won re-election in 1996.
So one of them is really into politics, while the yellow one, named Charlie, is really not into politics. Also, you got something showing there, buddy, maybe just...
Guess who just got a call to make the president smile?
So they get hired to make the president smile, and he's the most disgusting creature imaginable. Hey, by the way, a very fun running joke in this episode is that the longer it goes on, the more dirty and gross his suit becomes. I'm just gonna skip ahead. it's like already way more gross, and then it just keeps getting worse. Just find something about this so funny.
Maybe you should, like, I don't know, go lay on a beach or something instead.
This upcoming election is my one chance.
They're gonna help him win the presidential election, and that will make him happy somehow. I agree with Charlie, just go lie on the beach, my man. Anyway, let's check out how the chessboard is doing. So I've got the pieces of paper in these lines, and now I'm gonna alternate them. So I finished most of the work, and you might be thinking, wait a second, Red Panda, this isn't what a chessboard looks like. But if I slide it down, hey, do you see it? Like the checkerboard pattern emerge? Yeah. So anyway, I'm gonna pretty it up. In the meantime, let's finish the episode recap.
Hello, Transylvania. I know most of them like me, but I'm here to show you that I can talk good.
They try various things. One of them is having him give a speech. He, I don't know a better way to say this. He poops his pants. It is what happens in the episode. I don't know a better way of phrasing it. I'm sorry.
I think that lamb I had earlier was rotten.
And it all goes really poorly. With one of the ideas, he crashes the economy. So in other words, the campaign isn't going well. So all hope is lost, but there's the final debate. Then Charlie meets the shadow government and convinces them to support their candidate.
We're just an all-powerful secret society that you shouldn't know about.
We're just implementing our insane secret plan to elect Mr. Frog through mass media manipulation.
When they evict him from the chamber, there's a really funny shot. Worms run the government. It's just, sorry, the show is just too funny. Some more shenanigans happens, and at the end they get him to smile. The end. Oh. So first of all, we're gonna need a screenshot of the chessboard that we can use. And there we go. And yeah, this seems pretty usable. You can also figure out what each piece is. Like for example, the king is often bigger than the queen. And the fact that these kind of sprout out, you see that a lot in the design of chess queens. That is clearly a bishop, because it's bigger than a pawn. That looks like a rook. The knight is very distinct. So yeah, I can figure this out. Let's set it up. So I'm gonna set up the chessboard from the Smiling Friends. And for starters, I'll grab this black rook. It should go right over here. I might accidentally notch the chessboard. So if it misaligns, like that's my bad. We have a black king that can go right over here. A black bishop, like so. A black queen can fit snugly up here. A black pawn right over here. And one more right over there. We have a black knight. I keep nudging the chessboard. I've aligned it so perfectly in the frame, like I cannot nudge it. It doesn't really look well made because it isn't, and these wet marks, these are just like glue. I am sorry. And that's it for the black pieces. So now I'll set up the white ones. So this is the position. And as you might notice, white is actually up a rook and a knight, and black has one extra pawn. Now, if it's white to move in this position, it's actually mate in one. The mate in one here is simply queen takes bishop. So the queen over here, and this is simply checkmate. The king is in check. The rook over here cuts off this escape route. So this is simply mate. The queen also cannot be captured. However, if you look at the episode, it's very clear that it's black to move. So we're gonna have to analyze the position knowing that it's black to move and not white. There are multiple ways to escape from this checkmate. One of them is queen takes knight. That knight can simply be captured. And another one would be simply rook takes rook, which does allow queen takes bishop, but it keeps an escape square. White is currently up an overwhelming material advantage. While you can recapture some of it, all of it leads you in some problems. If you play rook takes rook like I showed, queen takes bishop is there, but even the move queen takes knight over here just leaves white an opportunity to play something like rook takes rook. And now if the king recaptures, the queen can simply take the bishop. And since the white king appears relatively safe, it's pretty easy to say that white is just winning. That being said, it probably won't surprise you that none of that was actually played.
Definitely going to win. President Jimble.
Instead, we see a pawn push, which makes no sense. So we see the move pawn up. I don't know like the coordinates on a 6x9 board. The evaluation here is just mate in one, right? Like I talked about this before, but queen takes bishop is still an active threat in the position. And this is just checkmate. Now the question is, will mate in one be played?
After all, President Ross Perot won re-election in 1996 in a major upset.
No! Instead, we push a random pawn for our opponent, by the way. So interestingly enough, he decides that he's actually playing with both sides. So I don't know what's going on anymore. He pushes this pawn here. Now this is interesting for two reasons. First of all, you're making moves for both sides. Second of all, this implies that both pawns move to this half of the board. So I don't think this is a real game of chess anymore.
Look, I'm just not interested in getting involved in politics, okay?
And then we see a knight move, which is interesting because it's still made of one. And also, he's moved a white piece twice. What is going on? Now we're not just playing with both sides, we're making two moves for white in a row, where the knight hops to this square over here. So rather than playing checkmate in one, we just attack the queen. Very good. So yeah, that's the chess in the smiling, friends. I guess we still have a little bit of time over. I guess we can do a short little... So the other day I was confronted with this pretty interesting Reddit thread. For you chess nerds, what elo do you think Red is based off his intelligence in the show? Now, this show is the Among Us television series. For some of you, this will be your first time hearing about this being an actual thing. And there we go. And we see him playing a game of chess. How to analyze this game? For starters, he is very sweaty. Also, he's playing chess with a game controller. I don't know why you do this to yourself. And then there's this position, which is really stupid for multiple reasons. So first of all, you might notice this is checkmate. Right? Like this is checkmate. However, the way you get there is actually quite silly. Now in this series we've multiple times already discussed false mate, which is essentially the quickest possible checkmate over here. However, something about the Among Us version is that the colors were actually flipped. Meaning that if you played like e4, f6, it's impossible because g5 must have been played. So the only move order to actually get here is if white started with e3. Black played either f6 or g5. Then white responded with e4, just wasting a tempi, and then black played g5, and this is checkmate. That being said, the question is, what elo do you think Red is based off his intelligence? Now, I can't tell you what it is based off his intelligence. Listen, the conversation around correlation between elo and intellect is one that only stupid people engage with, so I'm not going to. We can do a little bit more like that, because the game is so short. We can actually tell pretty well what elo level it should be. We can actually try and search for similar games in the Lichess database. So I'm including every rating and every time control. G5. And we're still at 1,000 games. And in only 300 of them was Queen H5 played. Now, because Red is playing with the black pieces, we don't have to include the last queen check. Meaning that we should start here. So what we should do, we should look for the move pawn to G5, which is played in apparently 4% of all games. And we can look for the average elo. 1300. And this is on Lichess, which is different than chess.com. So what elo do you think he would have? 1300 Lichess. That would be all. Bye bye.